Well, there's some beans back there in that field. Some fresh tracks actually, right there. But beans back there in that field. I'm hoping when I get up here to this field that's way back in here, there's at least some beans on there. So can't see the field from the road. Have no idea what's planted in there. So trying to do a velvet scout. So if it's corn, that's probably not going to work too well. But hopefully it's beans. The field seems to usually be split in half with two different plant species in there. So hopefully half of it's soybeans so we can watch something tonight. Otherwise I'm going to be walking back out looking for another place to go. But got quite the walk to get back in there. And hopefully, cross your fingers, we'll see some velvet bucks tonight. This is day 3. We saw 2 small bucks and a bunch of does. So no big bucks. Hoping to head back here and see some big bucks. Made it in here, got set up in the tree saddle again, and we already got a deer out here, kind of on this far side, coming out of the corn. I think it's a doe, but not for sure. But the hard part, like I mentioned earlier, is knowing what crop is in some of these food sources back in here. And this is split corn and soybeans like we thought, but it's just split kind of on the opposite way that we thought. So there's soybeans on this side. We prefer it to be switched so we could be right close to that bedding area. Like I said, Chance hunted there early in the fall last season and saw a bunch of bucks in there, and then he got caught up in hunting some other places, hunting the river unit and stuff like that, and never made it back here. But he saw a lot of good bucks in there, and that's the bedding area that I was coming in tonight to set up on and do a velvet scout on. But hopefully this is our 3rd day in a row doing velvet scouting. We see a big buck. We saw a couple spikes, but we're hoping for a big buck. Hopefully this soybean field can do that for us tonight. Well, we did it. Finally got a nice buck out there. He's coming from back there around the side of the corn there, and that's what some of these does were doing. They were just coming straight up out of that corn. I don't know if they were bedded in there or they were bedded back farther in that bedding area and just were making their way through the corn to get out here to these soybeans. But the buck came down the edge of that corn too. So coming from back there in that bedding area that Chance hunted last fall during the season. So that's why we're here, is to monitor that bedding area. If there's bucks coming from that bedding area, which looks like there is, then we know they're probably bedded back in there, and that's a place we can go early season. So got a nice buck out there. Hopefully a few more show up. Those bucks and some of those does are working their way over this way. They started down that way. Now they're probably 100 yards away or so, so they're working their way closer to us here. Don't know what their plan is, but they seem like they're on a mission to get somewhere. had 2 bucks come out of that bedding area that chance hunted last year. So that kind of shows you kind of what we're doing out here with our velvet scouting. That's going to be a place that we're going to want to be when the season opens September 1st. We had 2 bucks come out of that bedding area that chance hunted last fall. So that's kind of how you can take your velvet scouting to another level, not just going out looking for bucks, but looking for bucks and then figuring out where they're coming from and what bedding areas they're using. So that's what we're doing here. Came out to this food source to monitor a bedding area that's back in there. Had 2 bucks come out, work their way this way to this food source, and most likely came from that bedding area back in there. So with that knowledge, now we know where we can go. You know, when the season opens September 1st, we head back into that bedding area, and odds are these 2 bucks are probably going to be back in there somewhere. Those bucks kind of work their way down here to this corner, kind of following a group of does. Some of those first does went off over that way to the south. I don't know where they're headed, somewhere else back there. And then that group of does and those bucks were down here in this corner. And those 2 bucks took off and went back across this field, back towards the corn. So we know they're probably coming from that bedding area back in there that chance hunted last fall. So come September 1st, someone can be sitting up over there waiting for one of these 2 bucks to step out. So good to see some bigger bucks out there, some does out there. It's a good night. Didn't know when I walked in here and the beans were on this side and the corn was on that side, but the bucks worked their way down this way and we're able to finally see some nice bucks out here doing some velvet scouting. Well, those bucks came down here, kind of worked down here into this bottom. Pretty good night for us. Finally saw some really big bucks, but this kind of goes to show you how we put all of this information together to hunt bucks on public land. Before I came in here, Chance said that he saw a bunch of bucks back in there during the fall, said that was the best bedding area, and he didn't think there's anything going to be coming out of this stuff over here to the right. Didn't think it was worth hunting or sitting over. And those bucks kind of proved that tonight. They all, even all the deer, came out of the bedding area back there, and nothing came out from over here or from behind me. So if we're going to come in and hunt, we're not going to waste our time on stuff over here. We're going to go right back into that bedding area. So that's kind of something you guys can take away from some of these velvet scouts And this Velvet Scout in particular is how we put the information together to give us a spot to go to come opening day. As always guys, hit the like button and the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.